My name is Matthew Sharp. I work with California Food Policy Advocates in Los Angeles. As you heard in the kind introduction from Congresswoman Chu, like you, we are very concerned about the impact of the recession on hunger, food insecurity, and obesity. The purpose of my testimony today is to share progress from California and identify next steps for Congress to strengthen and expand the child nutrition programs. Among all the possible topics, I'd like to focus my brief remarks on a terrific and underused tool called direct certification. As you heard in the chairwoman's opening statement, direct certification is required in the programs. It is a data-driven method of automatically enrolling low-income students that receive SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, or TANF, or the Food Distribution Program in Indian Reservations, into National School Lunch Program for free meals. This is a highly accurate method of establishing eligibility, and it's extremely inexpensive because the information was already collected by another government agency. Expanded by Congress and this committee in 2004, it is an important part of how the child nutrition programs work. I wanted to share with you a little progress in California. Since 2004, we passed a state law that established a statewide database to match all the students at a statewide level who are receiving SNAP into this school meals program. That's resulted in a 37% increase in the number of students matched into free school meals. So that's an enormous amount of time and expense that local school principals, secretaries, and food service officials do not have to spend time on. It's an amazing area of progress. It's doing great things for a lot of kids, but some students are still missing out on the benefits of free and nourishing meals. So some innovations are needed to enroll more students and to provide them with the good nutrition that Congress intended. There are two simple ways to think about the solutions. One is to focus on individual children. In California, 1.3 million low-income students who receive Medicaid or SCHIP, public health insurance, and that verifies their household income, are not benefiting from automatic enrollment into school meals. And there may be at least 3 million more nationwide. Simply put, Congress should permit use of Medicaid and SCHIP data to enroll already eligible children into free meals. Second way to think about individual children would be to ensure that more students are captured within the existing system. More than 2 in 5 eligible children in 16 states are not automatically enrolled. Congress should also provide the tools and incentives so that states reach all the eligible SNAP and TANF participants with this data-driven, accurate method of enrolling students. The second way to think about the solutions is a focus on schools. 1,000 schools in low-income areas of California that serve over 500,000 children, an enormous number of kids in an enormous number of schools, have very high rates of free and reduced price enrollment in the meals program. An enormous number of kids are directly certified in these schools, yet they still must collect paper applications for a remainder of those student bodies. And so we think that Congress ought to take steps to provide schools the opportunity of using direct certification rate as a basis for automatic enrollment into meals. Simply put, school food services ought to be tossing salads instead of pushing paper. Families are spending too much time on antiquated and cumbersome and redundant paperwork. It's a simple fix for an enormous number of households. And to underline what you've heard from other panelists and what you have heard in the opening statement, there's an enormous amount of work to be done to ensure that these programs actually result in students receiving the meal benefits, not just being enrolled. And you're going to hear from some other panelists later today about creative strategies that Congress can provide incentives and tools to expand, including the breakfast in the classroom program, grab-and-go breakfast. There's a number of opportunities to strengthen these programs in a way that ensures that we get through the sequence of both establishing enrollment, providing kids the benefits, and ensuring they consume a nutritious meal at the school sites. So I provided a lot more detail in the written testimony, very copious amount of information about the solutions, about the problems, and about all the steps that Congress can take to underline these important tools and make sure they're fully utilized in your communities. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.